Hello, welcome to ExpressBook Insights. The book I'm introducing to you today is
Vivre heureux, psychologie du bonheur.
In English, it means living happily, psychology of happiness. Is a happy life dependent on material possessions? Or is inner richness and peace the ultimate standard of happiness? If someone feels unhappy, what methods are available to attain happiness? From a psychological perspective, everyone has the capability to achieve happiness, provided they correctly understand it and employ effective methods to build and defend it. Renowned French psychologist Christophe Hinder, the author of the book, through years of clinical work at the Saint-Anne Psychiatric Hospital in Paris, observed a common manifestation among individuals dealing with various emotional issues, including depression and anxiety, lack of a sense of happiness, and an inability to find effective methods to attain it. I will divide the book into three main parts. 1. What is happiness? 2. Why do many people lack a sense of happiness? 3. How to build a happy life. Part 1. What is happiness? Throughout history, philosophers attempted to define happiness. Ancient Greek and Roman philosophers believe happiness is noble and the highest good. 18th century thinkers believed it to be a universal right, with figures like the French philosopher Rousseau associating happiness with authenticity. However, post-19th century, elite intellectuals adopted a critical stance, questioning the attainability of happiness. While there's no unanimous definition of happiness, it can be outlined through experiences of satisfaction, enjoyment, and joy. Hinder distinguishes between satisfaction, enjoyment, and happiness, emphasizing that true happiness goes beyond the transient nature of these feelings. In the book, the author identifies three dimensions of complete happiness: biological, psychological, and sociological. Biological happiness involves the satisfaction of basic needs, such as food, safety, family, and intimacy. Psychological happiness includes the ability to fulfill oneself, with elements like self-esteem and the pursuit of personal goals. Sociological happiness involves caring for others and performing good deeds to reflect one's value in society. The author introduces four styles of happiness. 1. Action-based happiness, satisfaction derived from team activities, longing and joy in social interactions. 2. Achievement-based happiness, satisfaction resulting from accomplishing goals and succeeding, both materially and spiritually. 3. Control-based happiness, happiness found in individual actions, and a focus on internal feelings, such as the concept of flow when engaged in activities one loves. 4. Tranquility-based happiness, happiness achieved by maintaining a certain distance from the world, experiencing peace away from disturbances. People with different personalities prefer different styles of happiness. The author likens happiness to a balanced diet, emphasizes that a balanced combination of these happiness styles leads to a rich and profound experience of a happy life. However, extreme reliance on any single style may lead to shallowness, excessive ambition, selfishness, or passive lethargy, ultimately resulting in a lack of genuine happiness. Part 2. In the second part, let's discuss why many people lack a sense of happiness. The reasons for people lacking happiness can be summarized into 2 points. The first point is due to incorrect views on happiness. Some individuals are apprehensive about happiness, fearing that it will quickly disappear whenever it appears. To avoid potential loss, they choose to distance themselves from happiness. Others have a superstition that revealing happiness will attract misfortune. Let's use Ellie as an example. Whenever Ellie experiences some form of happiness, she avoids showing too much joy, afraid that acknowledging her happiness might make it slip away. When her friend congratulated her on buying a beautiful new house, Ellie felt awkward and anxious, unsure of how to respond, as she feared that admitting her happiness might make it vanish. Another incorrect perspective on happiness is getting accustomed to an unhappy life, believing that being unhappy aligns more with one's true self. Olivia is an example of someone immersed in unhappiness. After a breakup with her boyfriend, despite feeling sad, she also felt relieved, thinking that being single meant avoiding emotional troubles. The second reason for a lack of happiness is being easily enveloped by various negative emotions. We'll focus on 3 main negative emotions: sadness, anxiety, and pessimism. Starting with sadness, individuals prone to sadness find it challenging to be uplifted and often dwell in a gloomy state. This sadness becomes an addictive cycle, making it difficult for them to experience joy, even in positive situations. Psychological studies reveal that prolonged psychological sadness, akin to physical pain, should not be endured excessively. Just as physical pain signals a problem in the body, enduring emotional pain is not a remedy. The second negative emotion is anxiety. which can hinder our ability to experience happiness. In the eyes of those prone to anxiety, the world is perpetually on the brink of significant problems, causing constant worry and a fragile existence. Annette, for instance, has never witnessed her parents having a moment of joy and relaxation. Their lives are filled with constant concerns and exhaustion, as if they must exert maximum effort to avert misfortune. Anxiety, by exaggerating external dangers and difficulties, keeps individuals in a state of tension, making it impossible to appreciate the beautiful moments of life. For instance, an 8-year-old girl named Berenice, prone to anxiety, might ask about the possibility of a war breaking out on a sunny weekend, disrupting an otherwise peaceful day. The third detrimental emotion to happiness is pessimism, characterized by always expecting the worst in every situation. For example, if a wallet is lost, a pessimist may assume it's gone forever. A date running late might lead to the belief that the person won't show up at all. The story of Jerome, a perpetually gloomy individual, illustrates how pessimism, essentially a form of anxiety, can hinder the ability to see the positive side of life. Jerome considers optimism in others either naive or selfish, while his pessimistic outlook is seen as thoughtful. Pessimists are essentially anxious individuals who appear more composed and restrained. Pessimists, even when faced with positive outcomes, believe that good things won't last. Occasional success is dismissed as insignificant. When confronted with negative outcomes, they lament the inherent difficulties of life. While it's normal for people to experience occasional sadness, anxiety, and pessimism, persistent and frequent immersion in these negative emotions creates an emotional prison, isolating individuals from a happy life. The combination of these negative emotions and incorrect views on happiness acts as a barrier, keeping us separated from a life of happiness. Part 3. Let's talk about how to achieve a happy life. To build a happy life, efforts are needed in 3 aspects. The first aspect is to cultivate psychological abilities for happiness, which can be summarized as self-love, independence, and a moderate sense of control. Self-love involves having a healthy self-esteem, accepting imperfections, actively improving shortcomings, acknowledging one's positive qualities, and engaging in self-affirmation and praise, instead of constant self-doubt. The essential of self-love is to treat oneself as one's best friend, providing encouragement and support in difficult times. Truly loving oneself enables harmonious interactions with both oneself and others, fostering positive social relationships, which in turn contribute positively to individual psychological well-being. The second psychological ability for happiness is independence. Here, independence primarily refers to psychological independence, not letting others' opinions or changes in life circumstances negatively impact one's mindset. For instance, some parents focus solely on family and children, believing that their happiness lies in being needed by their family. However, when children grow up and become independent, these parents may experience a decline in happiness, leading to anxiety and depression. While a warm family, fulfilling work, and positive relationships are essential for a happy life, true happiness originates from within, stemming from self-acceptance and recognition. It's crucial to be content and happy with oneself, independent of external factors like social relationships, material wealth, or achievements. The third psychological ability for happiness is a moderate sense of control. This means being able to steer the course in daily life matters and major life decisions. Individuals with a strong sense of control exhibit greater resilience to stress, leading to emotional stability and an increased ability to experience happiness. Psychological tests in applied psychology have shown that increasing the sense of control in daily life for the elderly or those with physical limitations, such as planning their own menus, schedules, and convenient outings, enhances their overall happiness. However, it's crucial to note that control should be moderate, as excessive control can reduce happiness. For instance, Estelle was frustrated by her husband's excessive scrutiny and prolonged decision-making when buying things, creating unnecessary stress for both herself and those around her. The second aspect of efforts to build a happy life involves changing thought patterns that foster negative emotions, such as exaggerating risks, pursuing perfection, and being overly pessimistic. Individuals who tend to exaggerate risks can easily fall into anxiety. Instead of being consumed by anxiety, it is suggested to objectively analyze uncertainties and systematically consider more solutions, instead of dwelling on potential negative outcomes. Focus on proactive and positive problem solving. Pursuing perfection is another detrimental thought pattern. Those who demand perfection from themselves or others are often dissatisfied, hindering their ability to experience happiness. It's important to lower perfectionistic standards and adopt a more flexible mindset. Pessimism, the third negative thought pattern, sees life as a gray hardship, making happiness seem unattainable. Pessimists need to recognize that their negative judgments are not always accurate and are often counterproductive to the progress of events. Conscious efforts to adopt a more positive and proactive perspective can lead to greater happiness. The third aspect of efforts to build a happy life involves overcoming 3 obstacles to happiness. The first obstacle arises from nostalgic memories of past happy times. For example, Liz only perceives happiness in her childhood memories and feels sadness when she sees children playing in the garden, as it reminds her of the joy she believes is lost forever. This tendency can worsen after significant losses in life, such as the death of a partner, where individuals may struggle to find joy again. People who fixate on past joys may struggle to appreciate current happiness. Overcoming this involves actively participating in and constructing present happiness, rather than dwelling on the past. The second obstacle stems from comparing one's happiness to others. Montesquieu once said, "If you wish to be happy, do not add to your possessions but subtract from your desires." Comparing one's happiness to others often leads to feelings of inadequacy and jealousy. It's common for people to believe that others are happier, contributing to unhealthy envy. Overcoming this obstacle requires recognizing and admitting jealousy, seeking constructive solutions, and focusing on personal improvement, rather than competing with others. The third obstacle arises from the disparity between idealized dreams and reality. Achieving happiness requires effort, both materially and psychologically. While imagining an idealized happiness might seem easier than actual effort, relying solely on imagination can create a gap between idealized happiness and reality. People who excessively indulge in idealized happiness may struggle to feel content, even when their lives are objectively satisfactory. A study during the 1992 Barcelona Olympics found that bronze medalists often displayed more genuine happiness than silver medalists. This disparity is attributed to the bronze medalists' appreciation for achieving a place on the podium, whereas silver medalists might be preoccupied with narrowly missing the gold. It illustrates how the gap between idealized happiness and reality can impact one's perception of contentment. In conclusion, to achieve a happy life, individuals need to cultivate psychological abilities, such as self-love, independence, and a moderate sense of control, improving thought patterns, avoiding unhealthy comparisons, and bridging the gap between dreams and reality are crucial steps. Cherishing small joys in daily life and maintaining a grateful heart serve as the key to safeguarding a happy life. As the 16th century French philosopher Montaigne stated, "The sole purpose of life is to live and enjoy it." Each person's path to happiness is unique, and regardless of wealth or poverty, everyone deserves to experience happiness. Constructing a happy life is achievable through mindful efforts, appreciating daily joys, and fostering a grateful heart. After listening to this book, do you feel more confident about achieving a happy life? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section.